All right, so today we're going to go over the muscle up from the false grip hand position. For those of you who tuned in last week, we saw Pat do some muscle ups in the flex arm hang. Of course, a progression. A lot of people learn their first muscle up like this, which actually looks just like that, flex arm hang position. So today, emphasis on the false grip, and we're also going to fully extend the arm. So false grip, Pat's setting it up right there. Hands are up and over the rings, thumb still on the outside. Such a deep grip that his wrists stay bent just slightly. Uncomfortable position for many, but we need to learn it. Now, with his arms fully extended, we're going to see a drastic change in Pat's swing or backswing, which of course is going to then change the outcome of his muscle up. So, we're going to look at the rings. Now, when Pat goes into his backswing, he's going to turn out the rings, and what this is going to do right there is it's going to open up his shoulders. Shoulders are opening up. It's going to give him more room to go into the backswing, so much that, in fact, if we pause it at the peak of his backswing, his feet are just about in line with his shoulders. Talk about creating some momentum there. As he goes into the swing, we're going to see his knees slightly bent, which is closing his hips. We'll see it better on the side view. All right, but what is that going to do? It's going to allow him to then violently open up the hips and create the energy he needs to get up and over the rings. Now, before he does this, all right, I'm going to draw a line just kind of right outside of that ring there, all right, to show you where we want the rings as we're doing this. Now, a lot of us have trouble keeping it in nice and tight. We need to create the energy or the momentum, the power, however you want to think about it, to get our shoulders over the rings. That's going to keep the rings in nice and tight to the body. So we'll see the rings never really deviate away too much from the body or from Pat. In fact, if anything, they're going to come in closer. Now, when we go into the catch, they're definitely going to come closer. Rings are going to be the tightest to the body at this point. But you can see his head coming up and over. A lot of people think of this position right here as just the really, really, really fast sit-up, which is true. As he does this, he's going to tuck his feet back, heads over, shoulders clearly up and above the rings right there. And we go into that catch. Rings get closer into the body, nice and tight. All we have to do here from that catch is go up into the full lockout of the dip, finishing the muscle up. There we go. Now, if we look at it from the side, all right, we'll just see a couple of key points we talked about from the front. Now, wrists clearly bent in that false grip position. As we go into that backswing with the arms fully extended and the rings turning out, there's that backswing I was talking about, feet just about in line with the shoulders. He's going to create a ton of power this way. His knees are slightly going to be bent. Now, because he has such a big swing, we don't have to tuck him too much, but he is still bending right here to create that closed hip angle, only to then violently open up, okay, creating that power. Head's coming up and over, shoulders are coming up and over as he goes into that catch. Now, the only thing I'd like to see a little bit different, all right, and this is definitely going to affect, if we're starting to string together or get tired in a workout, is tucking those feet in a little bit quicker. So we want to literally think about just kicking our own butt in this position. So a little bit tighter of a tuck there is definitely going to help us as fatigue sets in for sure. Pat is just a very supple person and flexible where he could catch himself just about in a full L-sit. But again, as fatigue sets in, or we're trying to string those muscle ups together, we want to end ideally in this position. So the second that we catch ourselves, feet are tucked, maybe even a little bit tighter, but you get the idea there. And then all we have to do here is go into that full lockout position. So that is the muscle up from the flex arm, the false grip hand position. We're going to go one more time in super slow motion as Pat demos here. False grip. It is a must if you are learning the muscle up. Unless you are a super athlete and it just clicks for you, we will never get it. False grip is a must. Can't emphasize it enough. Thanks for stopping into the Coach's Corner, and thank you, Pat. See you next week.